going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And today is your Wednesday rant. And honestly, I had nothing to talk about. I was sitting here like, oh, God, what do I want to rant about? Do I want to do sports? Do I want to talk about some crazy things in politics? Do I want to find some wrestling things to expand upon? Well, and then my day took a turn. Sometimes you get inspiration from random sources. And today, mine started with a picture. I got a picture from somebody I don't know. Well, I presumably don't know them. They know me and they know my family. But I didn't know who it was. And I got a picture in an email. And then at first I didn't know what it was. It took me by surprise. So let's go ahead and let's start there. And then we're going to move on from that. But this is your Wednesday rant. And as you're going to see, I am indeed one grumpy, old, young guy. And it all started with this. This is a picture of my mother in 1987. I was 4 years old. I wasn't in the picture. I don't know who the guy is. My mom was I don't want to say a whore, but she was a little hoary back in the 80s. She, she was a wild Chicago girl, a repressed Catholic, and kind of let it wild for a little bit after my dad, I don't know who this guy is, but he certainly looks like he was holding on to the 70s very, very hard. Oh, my God. He's like, it might be 1987, but I'm thinking it's 78. I'm hanging on. It's coming back. Who's got the blow? That's basically what I'm saying. But there's so much going on in this picture, and I was analyzing it. I was looking at it. I was processing it. And then, something amazing hit me. And basically everything came to this. Everything sucks nowadays. I mean, it really does. Look, when you're around my age, I'm talking people currently who are around my age, 32. I'll be 32 in May. Then perhaps, you feel this way. And I'm sure other 32-year-olds throughout time and history have felt the same because, this is just what happens. But maybe you feel the same way I do. Certain things no longer feel the way they did when you were younger. And maybe at first you can just dismiss that, for just basic desensitization from living, just everyday living. Everything starts to get dull. But I think it's more than that. Now, don't get me wrong. Life is still great. I'm not looking for a giant bridge to dive off or anything like that. I'm just saying that things once held a really special meaning now just kind of feel cheap. And how does this picture, play into that? Well, it's real simple. This picture just got me thinking. This was from a wedding, and I was looking at it, I was studying, I was breaking down. And, after getting past the whole awesomeness of the 80s, I noticed the quality of the photo. It's a real photo on paper and everything. It's crazy. It was good. The quality of the photo is good. It's 1987 and it's good quality. Then I thought about how the photo was taken. So, a photo that old, I didn't go, oh, God, the photo, our quality now is so much better. I was like, this photo was pretty damn good for the time, And then like I said, I started thinking about how the quality or how the photo was taken. And more than likely, a guy in a little cheap suit was walking around this wedding, right, with a tripod and a large camera with a big friggin' flash bulb on it, getting folks to pose for pictures that, not only capture a moment in time, but in essence create one through the photo taking experience itself. And that's when it hit me. Things were special back then because of the effort it took to attain them. You know what I mean? There was a time when things took a lot of effort to attain them. All right? And now, if you want to capture a moment, you just stop, take a selfie, and it looks great and everything, but you don't remember the process. Because You just pause for a second, make a stupid duck face, and press your touch screen. Not a button. Not a button. For Christ's sake, where have all the buttons gone? I don't know if I want to live in a world without buttons. I'm just saying. It's a touch screen now. It's not even a button. It no longer takes effort to attain things. And thus I feel it's cheapened. I feel things are cheapened by the lack of effort that it takes to achieve them. I mean, maybe some people can call it making life easier and expedient and efficient if you want those type of things. And it's all true. But what was so bad about photo huts and stuff like that? I'm not an anti-tech guy at all. In fact, I love tech. I love the fact that I could sit on this couch so easily and make a video and talk to people all over the world, all while not wearing pants. You don't know. You never know. I'm appreciative of that. But let's look at this for a minute. Think about how everything used to be cooler. I mean, it just used to be friggin' cooler. And we could start with old cameras. Now granted, this might not be cooler as in, wow, look at the cutting edge style of it, but it was different. Things were different. It's crazy. The cameras back then were different and unique, and everything wasn't the same. Nowadays, say what you want, but everything's the same. It's all cookie cutter. You think about it. Think about cell phones, which is now the new cameras. Old cell phones, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, used to be, you could be standing in a group of people and everybody would have a different type of cell phone. I mean, everybody would have different types of phone. And you can look at them and go, oh, wow, look at that. That's kind of cool. Look, that's a flip phone. That's a slide phone. Look, that's got a keyboard on it. And now, that no longer exists. We don't see different types of cell phones. Now, we see this. All the smartphones, they're exactly the same. They're all the same. Yeah, there might be different software in them and all of that, and that's fine. But it's all the same. There's nothing to look at. There's nothing to look at in a group and go, oh wow, man, look what Jake has, man. That's badass. That's kind of cool. Now it's like you look down and you see, hey, I got a Galaxy. Oh, he has an iPhone. It's like everyone has an iPhone or a Galaxy. I myself have a Galaxy S5 and I love it. But doesn't it just kind of feel cheap sometimes? Everything the same. But I sat here, and this feeling started to grow. It started to deepen. And I started looking at everything. I sat here and just everything around me was starting to jump at me. I mean, the cup of coffee that was in my hand started to mock me with how easy it is. And it's great. It's a great cup of coffee. There's no question at all. Great cup of coffee. It's a great cup of coffee. It's fantastic. There's no question. But, we have a Senseo. We have a Senseo coffee machine. It looks like this. Different color, but I mean, you get the idea. And what do? You throw in a little coffee pad with the amount of coffee's already set and everything. You fill up the reservoir and you push a button. Oh, thank God there's still a button. I'd really lose it at this point if that friggin' button wasn't there. My God. And boom. Perfect cup of dark caffeinated juice. And it's great. But sometimes, I find myself missing the complexity sometimes of those big old coffee makers, something like this. I kind of miss that. And remember, you fill it up with water and then you carefully measure out the grounds. I mean, I know some people still do it, but it's getting rarer and rarer. And you make sure you got the exact pot you wanted. What feels better? What feels better than knowing you nailed something? Knowing you nailed that pot of coffee. Because you don't do it all the time. You don't make that pot of coffee perfect all the time. But it's gotten to the point now where even going to coffee shops don't feel as unique and special as it once did, because most of the time, due to the ease and simplicity of making coffee, you can make a better tasting cup of coffee right in your own house just by pressing one button. It's easy, it's simple, but is it as special? Does that even matter to some people anymore? It used to. It used to matter. It used to matter to everybody. You work a little bit harder and that coffee tasted a little bit better. Maybe it's just in your head, but I think you know what I mean. At this point, you have to keep in mind, I am no longer keeping all these thoughts in my head. I'm now ranting to my wife, pleading with her about the importance of appreciating the things we so easily have. And to all of this, she patiently sat through my insane ramblings and finally asks, well, would you like me to break out the old coffee pot? To which I quickly retorted, fuck no! No! I didn't even think about it, I like the ease of how things are. But I just feel like nobody any longer really takes time to truly appreciate everything like we used to. And I think it's just because it's so easy to attain. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, look at cars nowadays. Cars used to be a true symbol of coolness, of stature. You'd look in any parking lot and you see creativity and uniqueness and just be awed by the designs and awesomeness of the metal marvels sitting there. Parking lots used to look like this. Look at all the awesomeness that's there. This is just the back of cars. I mean, it used to be stunning. You used to be able to see things just by looking out your window of a Denny's. Not no more. It's not the same anymore. Now, it's more like this. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. Now all the cars are bland and boring. And yeah, they're safer and you're safer and they're more fuel efficient and faster and reliable. But tell yourself that next time your head jerks around to catch a glimpse of that 67 Stingray you saw out of the corner of your eyes, jetting down the street. But at least your Acura gets 31 miles to the gallon, right? You know what I mean? It's crazy. We don't have that head-turning uniqueness anymore. I didn't fully get how deep all of this was until it really hit me about the thing that I treasure most in life. And that's knowledge. Knowledge showed me that it was affected too. Growing up, if I wanted to know about an effalump, I'd have to go to the library, and I didn't own my own set of these. No, I had to go to the library. When was the last time you went to a friggin' library that wasn't inside your school or something? And I have to pull out the e-volume of one of these. Do you know what this is? It's called a friggin' Encyclopedia Britannica, which I liked, but I mean any encyclopedia. And you go through this friggin' book, and you look through it, and you turn the page after page, searching for an effalump. And then, this was when I was a kid, and get frustrated, and you gave up because an effalump is not fucking real. I watch way too much Winnie the Pooh. And I ponder, because I couldn't find it in the encyclopedia, so I'd ponder what amazing creature I was missing out on. I mean, what wonders were out there that were not in this book? Because if it wasn't in the encyclopedia, it might as well not have existed. She couldn't find it. It was so frustrating. Couldn't find the damn thing. Nowadays, you just pop in effalump and boom, it tells you Winnie the Pooh creature, you big idiot. And I move on. No more thinking, no more wondering, no more creativity. I see it, I know it, I absorb it, that's it. Most of the time, I forget it. You forget that piece of information because it was so easy to grasp. It's scary how easy knowledge is to attain and how many people have no respect for it. Just because it's so easy, the respect is gone. Let's face it, when you work for something, it just means more. So I, for one, miss those flash bulbs, those easily rusted metal cars, those blocks blocky and glitchy phones, the pots of coffee that took 7 minutes to brew, and even the friggin' paper cuts I got from turning page after page of Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not in a rush to go back to any of those things. If you ask me if I'm going back to them, fuck no. No. I'm not. But this is what you have to understand. My worry is this, that all of the ease and unimaginative and cookie cutter products that look so similar to everything, what's going to inspire the next generation? What are they going to have to be inspired by? They'll see everything as the same, so their minds will have nothing to absorb and truly make new and innovative advancements. And I mean, there are always going to be some great minds that will break through no matter how repressed and uninspired their surroundings may be. Always have, always will. But my worry is the average mind. The average mind that by looking outside of a window, back in time, you look outside of a window and you would see innovation all around you. You would see difference. And we have innovation now, but it's only slight increments of the innovation that came before it. You know what I mean? And it's just to make things easier. It's not to make it cooler or more creative. It's to make things easier. The easier pot of coffee. The more smooth ride. So that's my worry. You know, what's going to inspire them? What's going to challenge them to innovate? You know, looking out through a window and seeing all the different things that would make you go, man, what can I do to be more different just like that? Now it's just all about ease. That, like I was saying, that easier pot of coffee, that smoother ride, that quicker app on your phone. You don't really appreciate them because you use them all the time. So that's when my wife, turned to me and said, "Geez, you're a friggin' young, grumpy-ass old man." And she's right. She's right. I feel like I'm turning into an old fucking man. But, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I hope you enjoyed this different Wednesday rant. I had a lot of fun doing it. So, we will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. Hope you enjoyed something a little bit different today. And when you go out and you mess with something, and I'm not saying make your lives more difficult. What I'm saying is appreciate it a little bit more. Think outside the box. Use your imagination. Innovate. Create. It's quite fun. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Thank you for your time. Peace.